Okay, so I don't know what is this, like that fucking fifth video I've made about this today, but I keep on hearing it's weird. Like when I was up in Reading, I was getting like most of my Las Vegas shooting information via YouTube or whatever. I don't really watch mainstream media. Like I don't watch news on TV. I don't watch like CNN or any of that shit because honestly, I don't trust them to tell the truth. I trust them to tell the truth that follows basically their agenda. Call it what you may, bending of the truth. It's almost like saying, it's like when someone doesn't say something and they say, well, I'm not lying, I just didn't tell you, so that's kind of the reason why I don't really watch mainstream media. I went down, I don't really go to the Strip very often. I'd gone down to Las Vegas Athletic Club North, trained there, worked out there for today, and I have a lot of friends in Las Vegas. I don't see them a lot. I don't really go to my house in Las Vegas too much, or here too much, Las Vegas too much. I'm so used to being away. I don't really come here too much. So when I'm here, I tend to run into, a lot of people that are my friends here or whatever, and I have some IFBB pros that are friends here, but that wasn't who I was having a conversation with or anything like that. It's just that I have friends here, people I've met throughout the years. I've had this house for shit going on like 6 years, 7 years now, and I'm really only here maybe once or twice a year, 3 or 4 times tops. I usually come for the Olympia, certain other things, but mainly I spend most of my time in Los Angeles, in my house there, and I spend a pretty significant amount of time up in Northern California, Reading, where my family lives, just so that I can see them. But anyway, in conversation with these guys today, as I was like leaving I was leaving the athletic club, start chatting with people, and one dude goes, "Hey man, I just saw this video about like this stuff like Mandalay Bay has been withholding and this and that." And kind of touched on whether or not like Mandalay Bay was involved, and by involved I think like what people mean is like not like they wanted it to happen or anything, but maybe knew that was going to be the location, according to, again, like conspiracy theorist type people. I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist, but a lot of the things that I'm hearing from people who have theories or whatever, sorry, I'm just trying to see if I can block the sun a little bit. The shadows in my backyard right now are making this kind of an awkward video, but anyway, one of the things that I heard when watching the video was it was on like breaking news today or something, which I usually don't watch because I don't like the fucking robot voice thing. I've said that before. Anyway, apparently experts have come forward and said, yeah, there are 200 round magazines. It's possible for there to be, 200 round magazine for these weapons, but they're talking about the weapons in the hotel room, not the weapon that was used. I think by now we all know that the weapon we heard firing was obviously a belt-fed, M240 or something of that nature. I don't really think anybody is arguing that point at this, particular juncture, except for maybe law enforcement. anybody who's ever, like I've fired a belt-fed weapon, I've fired AKs, I've fired fucking ARs. I own 2 ARs. I own quite a few guns. I don't own a belt-fed weapon, but I do know what they sound like because I fired them at, mini fucking shooting ranges. It's like one of the things you can do here in Vegas. You go out to the shooting range and you can shoot guns that you basically wouldn't be able to shoot, really, probably not too many other places in the world. Anyway, so this video is stating that experts are saying, yeah, there are 200 round magazines for the weapons found and this and that, and I'm going, okay, well, yeah, and in my mind, I'm hearing it, but my mind's telling me that's probably true, but that would be pretty military issue ordnance type of things, a 200 round clip. Now, I own a couple of ARs, and a 30 round clip for an AR is about 10 to 12 inches long. This is my guesstimation. I'm not going to go inside and get one and measure it, but it's a pretty good size clip for 30 rounds. Okay. Generally, when you get into like 50 round clips, they tend to go into drum form, because of the size of the bullet itself. You know what I mean? And weight. So they're saying, no, there is such a thing as a 200 round clip. Okay, well, I buy that. I've never seen one, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like, I've never seen a lot of shit, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Like, I've never seen a fucking M1 tank, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I've never seen a stealth fighter jet, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I mean, I've seen it, but I've never seen it in person. But my thing is with that, it's almost like, okay, so they exist, how come there weren't any in the room? Like, how come there's no photographs of these 200 round clips? If you're saying, oh no, it was those guns, like, well, okay, well, how come all the guns in the fucking clip of the room in this so-called leaked video and leaked photos? And we all know, like, there's no such thing as a leaked photo, okay? Like, a leaked photo is an intentionally leaked photo. Like, it was meant to be leaked. It wasn't leaked, like, on accident. Like, some cop didn't go in there with his cell phone, take this video and take these pictures and like, just leak it, like, behind everybody's back. Like, obviously, they meant for it to be leaked. It's like anything else that gets leaked when the government's involved. Like, they leaked it, which isn't really leaking, is it? So there's no photos of these 200 round magazines. So I think we all know through watching, like, the taxi cab video, and one gentleman did a really good analysis on that, and I can't count those shots, but I'm sure, like, I don't have the computer technology he did, and I probably slowed it down. I was able to count them very accurately. So the statements I recall from that was a 70 round burst and a 100 and some odd round burst. Okay, I get that. Granted, I still think they came from a belt-fed weapon. It sounds like a belt-fed weapon. It's reminiscent of a belt-fed weapon. It just, in my mind, that's what it was. And there's no belt-fed weapon in those pictures. But nevertheless, okay, so we'll say, hypothetically, those guns were the guns used. How come we don't see those 200 round clips? The clips that we're seeing in those pictures at max hold maybe 50 rounds. And I don't even think they're 50 round clips. I mean, I'm thinking, whatever. Whatever. I mean, like I said, like, I have ARs, and they're, a 30 round clip for an AR is pretty good fucking size. It's about double the length of this Cohiba. So maybe it's possible those clips were maybe over 30 rounds, but I doubt it. I mean, those look a lot like 30 round clips to me. I don't know, and I'm not a gun expert. I don't know if they make like 35, 40, 45 round clips. I don't know if they do. I've never heard of a 200 round clip, but I know that I didn't see any clips in those pictures or that video that looked like they could hold 200 fucking rounds. What I do know can fire 200 rounds is a belt-fed weapon. It's curious because all these things keep coming out, and now apparently they're discussing also, like, okay, so the security guard Campos, okay, he originally in the timeline was shot after the mass shooting, and then it comes out he was shot before the mass shooting. Okay, so this engineer goes up Mandalay Bay, goes up. Can I see it? I can't see the strip from here, otherwise I'd point at Mandalay Bay or something close. Goes up to the 32nd floor because allegedly a fire exit is blocked. Now, I don't even know how you would know that unless someone had tried to go out that fire exit and it didn't work. And like we all know, like well, I guess we don't all know. I know, like in Las Vegas, like if you open a fire exit, an alarm sounds. Okay, so how is this? Okay, so the engineer goes up because the fire exit is blocked or won't open or whatever. Okay, so we have the engineer up there. Okay, and just happenstance, for whatever reason, Campos, the security guard, shows up on the 32nd floor too. Round about that time, I guess Paddock allegedly sees these gentlemen in the hallway and opens fire through the door, through the door of his hotel room. Okay, firing some odd, it was something like 200 rounds into the hallway of the Mandalay Bay. Now, security guard then radios, hey, somebody's firing a rifle on the 32nd floor. Okay, now this all takes place 6 minutes before somebody starts shooting into the crowd. Somebody. Paddock, whoever, okay? For the sake of argument, we'll say Paddock, because that's what everyone's saying. That's what they're saying, so that's what I'll say. Okay, so 6 minutes before Paddock starts firing into the crowd, he radios down that someone's firing an automatic weapon on the 32nd floor. Now, in those 6 minutes, now see, I have been in trouble in Las Vegas, and I know that Metro PD's response time is pretty good. Now, on top of that, I would think there'd be a high presence of Metro PD just based on the fact there's a concert across the street. So, in 6 minutes, you'd think from him radioing, Jesus Christ, radioing that there's someone firing a weapon to his superiors, they would have had plenty of time to alert the police, and the police. Okay, so 6 minutes goes by there, and then it's 6 minutes before he starts shooting into the crowd. So you essentially have about 9 minutes, really, from the time he started shooting through the door. Okay, from the time he started shooting through the door. I'm not saying from the time they radioed. From the time he started shooting through the door. Okay, because it just fired 200 rounds. It's probably, at least a minute or two of shooting, okay? And also the door would be completely gone, by the way, with these high-powered weapons. The door would be completely gone. I heard this weird bullshit thing, like where someone was, oh, he's firing through the people. What the fuck? Firing through the people? No. Anyway, so then, why then does he have another, what was it, like 11 minutes to fire into the crowd? Okay. So you take 11 and 6, that's 17 minutes from the time that, we'll say, the first shot was fired at Campos. 11 minutes, Campos immediately radios, okay, so 11 minutes go by, that he's been shooting into the crowd, on top of the 6 minutes between when he shot Campos and started shooting, so that's, 17 minutes. And it took Metro PD 17 minutes, and like our president's going, oh my God, thanks to their quick response time and da-da-da-da-da. Quick response time? Holy fuck, that seems slow to me. Somebody's firing an automatic weapon on the 32nd floor of a high-profile fucking resort casino in Las Vegas, and it takes fucking 17 minutes for fucking Metro PD to get up there and handle some shit. Like, dude, I've seen Metro. I've lived in Las Vegas. Obviously, I'm in Las Vegas right now. I have my home here. I've seen Metro PD respond to things that they were so much further away from so much faster than that. Now, that's me basing that on the fact that I think there must have been a strong Metro PD presence downstairs and across the street at the concert and all around the concert. Just like the more I hear, the more it sounds like either incompetence or some type of cover-up, and now it's like, are they saying Mandalay Bay was involved, which means MGM Grand would be involved, they own Mandalay Bay, blah, 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 blah. So it's like, how deep does this go? So, like, now, we're basically giving these people, these conspiracy theorists, Illuminati type fucking, MK Ultra conspiracy theory people, even more, ammunition to use for their argument. And I'm not saying their arguments are wrong, it's just that, like, I mean, that's just a very, very strange discrepancy in time to me. This guy gets shot, radio's down, and Metro PD doesn't show up for another fucking, 17 minutes basically, right? Because you would think that's, when Paddock died is when they showed up, allegedly. I don't know. It's just, a weird conversation I had at the gym today. Thought I would bring it to your attention. It's just a very strange time discrepancy again. Who knows? Fuck.